we are entering into Mississippi. So we're here on Highway 98, and we're coming into Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We're not going to be stopping. We may stop in a little while. We have about 98 more miles on today's drive. We may drive another 100 beyond that. That will leave us 200 miles for tomorrow, and that'll end our drive for where we're going. But we'll see when we get to the end of the first 100. So here we are passing through McGee, Mississippi. Currently on 49 North. We just passed through McGee, Mississippi and Sanatorium, Mississippi. We're not far from our destination finish for the end of the day. Maybe I'll do a little more video when we get to the next Red Roof Inn. So we're on the final leg of the journey, and we're leaving our favorite Red Roof Inn. Not the best Red Roof Inn I've ever stayed in, but the quality is to be expected for going downhill fast with the COVID virus. We may or may not stay here again, and we're right in the middle of two hurricanes that, well, one's been downgraded, but there's another one out there supposed to come in through. So we're gonna get on the road. Wow, can't say I've ever heard of the town called Yazoo City, Mississippi. But I guess there is one. Wow, it's a rundown area over there. I know Mississippi has some poor areas in it. So, watching a little bit of my shows last night on X22 and YouTube, I can see there's a lot of things going on. They're still trying to stop the president from pushing HCQ, the Democrats are, because if they get everybody to take the mask off, they will be exposed and shown that they're just doing this so that they can cheat at the election and win, which is all they're trying to do anyway. Nobody needs a mask. HCQ has been around for 70 years. And Dr. Fauci has already said that, you know, this is about the, he doesn't want to admit that he said something in 2014, and he doesn't want to admit that he said anything or was responsible for anything, sidestep every question that's asked of him, and try to attempt to say that it's not political and it's for the safety of everybody, but It sounds awfully fishy, and you never seen him wearing any masks until they started questioning whether it was true or not. And then he put the mask on to kind of push the narrative a little bit harder, because people started saying that they trust what he says, and he's nothing but a shyster. So, the United States is, as we know it, never going to be the same, because they've killed more things than they can bring back anytime soon. The economy will never recover in my lifetime as it was when I was growing up. It will recover at some point in the future, but it's going to take an awful lot. A lot of influx of help from people, not necessarily money, because when they closed down the economy, the Democrats enabled the lazy people to do whatever they want and steal. They enabled theft and crime and destruction, and have no intent of ever doing anything good for this country. But that's what the Democrats are. They're non-Americans. If they are Americans, they believe in things that are non-American, non-value to American society. The family base, the working hard and making a living, providing for your family, they're all about the government giving you a barely enough money to live and survive. No free enterprise. So we'll leave you with that thought, and pick this up after a little more scenery goes by. But as I drive around, going cross country here, I see many, many things that are absolutely hard to believe. People are still nice out there. They having a hard time dealing with stuff that is just, I mean, why do you need a mask to stand outside by yourself? Absolutely, why do you need this? And to threaten people with fines and turn the electricity off for holding a party in your own home, to send helicopters out to spy on people that are having parties in their backyard. What kind of stuff is that? These are politicians that, who in their right mind would elect them? So, we're driving along and I'm thinking to myself, let's stop in here and refuel this beast. Passing over the Mississippi River. Here we are.
Is that the mighty Mississippi?
Yes, it is.
Bill says he knew that. There's Louisiana.
So we're in Louisiana. This is one of my favorite states to drive through. Hunter's Paradise, they call it. We did stop to refuel the truck, but my previous experience with going into truck stops, if I can't get in the car area with people that have U-Haul trucks that have diesel things, then I usually don't go in them, because what I saw at the last one I went over to the truck stop side, and there was 5 trucks sitting in the pump area. None of them had hoses attached to them. And when I went inside, I went over to the other side. When I went inside to check, there was nobody standing to pay for the gas, which means that all the truck drivers were sitting in the lounge area, and they just left their trucks in the gas pump area. And you know, I don't have time to wait for them to sit and make their phone calls and arrange their loads. So I find that it's easier to buy gas at the truck stops on the passenger car side that has diesel service. So that's what I'm gonna do. This last one, we went in there and it looked like just exactly the same thing. There's 20 pumps for the diesels. They were all full, and it didn't look like there was anybody pumping gas. It looked like the trucks were just parked in the pump area. So we're gonna try another Love's up the road here a little bit, and see how that works. This is obviously an agricultural area. So we stopped at another gas station to fill up the diesel truck, and there was nobody filling up gas in their trucks, and they weren't serving any food in the restaurant. So we filled the truck up and then went across the street to where there was some hot food, and got a good Arby's Reuben sandwich. It's very interesting out here. This is Louisiana, so I see things differently state to state, how people are reacting to the virus and their lockdown procedures, as it were. Most people don't care. You come in with or without a mask, and they'll serve you. They don't make any fuss. But it is what it is. I sure would like to see them get the hydroxychloroquine, HCQ, out there before the election, and get everybody, and get the mask off everybody. This is show the people out there that the Democrats have just lied to everybody to throw this election. But I think many people have figured it out, that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the rest of these idiot Republican opposing people, like Nancy Pelosi, the Democrat that she is, doesn't care about the people. All she's trying to do right now is get money to bail out the states and the post office. Because as it is, nobody wants the Democrats in office. Some interesting farming. And as long as they have this mask, the Democrats can figure out how to scare people. Just keep pushing the narrative on the TV. And most people know that the TV, they figured out that most of the news stations are not telling the truth either, and that you can't trust anything on the news anymore. Which is, well, I figured this out long ago. Don't trust the news. They're all owned by Democrats. Many people are starting to come around and understand that they're censoring anybody that thinks like a Republican. And if you have your saying, you're having a conversation with people on your own Facebook page, they'll come back out and say, no, that's a lie. Even if it's hard truth, they'll say that it's a lie. For instance, during the convention, two different groups of people came on and said the Pledge of Allegiance, and neither one of them used the word God in the Pledge of Allegiance. And when they were called on it, they said, no, that's a lie, that's a lie. That they absolutely left the word God out. First of all, because LBGT was one of them, and they don't believe in God. They go against God with what they're doing. And the other one was the Muslims, and they don't pray to God either. They pray to dirt, to Allah, the almighty dirt man. So there is more coming out to show the American people that the people that are out there trying to control the country don't care about the American people. They only care about themselves and other countries and their terrorism activities. Still a lot more to go before November. Just watching One American News and Glenn Beck, and what I saw on Glenn Beck a couple weeks ago, there was some doctors that came from all over the United States, about 5 or 6 of them, and they did a whole series of shows on YouTube. And YouTube censored most of them because they came right out with statistics and proof that HCQ works and that the Democrats are locking down the country for nothing. They're forcing people to wear a mask for nothing. The mask, it doesn't matter what mask you wear. They don't work. They absolutely do not work. If enough people would stop wearing the mask and the governors come in and say blah blah blah, we're gonna go ahead. You don't have enough cops to shut the whole fucking state down. There's not enough cops to write the tickets, and guess what? Cops aren't going to write tickets for not wearing a mask. That's not what we pay public service safety people to do. I mean, the police, well, you want to defund the police, but you want them to go out there and write tickets for whatever you want them to write. It's really sad that the Democrats have got so much control of the media that we can't even get a truth out there. One person says one thing and then another comes out and says another. If it doesn't sound good to the Democrats, just spin it and lie. Just straight out lie. Nobody's gonna call attention to it. And I was posting on Facebook last night, and I noticed that half of my base, I have about 300 people that follow me, and of the 300, only about 5 or 6 see my post. So I've known since Easter Sunday that Facebook has an algorithm based upon certain words that you use. They will filter your content and either put the words in there that it's false, or they won't even show your content. It gets filtered completely out and is not out there for the masses to see. On the other side of that coin, if you're talking in a YouTube video such as this, and they look through the video, because all the videos that people make, they are checked first for accuracy, and they run a little algorithm, and if there's any words in there that say COVID, it's checked a little closer, and it's either not put out there, or they say that you need to go and change something on it. I've noticed that a lot of the people that have some big viewers, millions of viewers, like One American News and the network news, Fox, even their videos are being censored and pulled. And many people don't want to do their own research. They just want to say, well, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't concern me, I'm not involved. But everybody is involved. Everybody. Whatever you do or don't do, you're involved. And it doesn't matter whether you like the president or don't like the president. It really doesn't matter. We, the people of the United States, one nation under God. We wrote the Constitution more than 200 years ago. We founded this country on the majority of what people want, not the minority. Currently, the minority controls the media, and the media informs the masses. The masses are what carry this country. What's truly sad is that if you have a product or a service or a company and the media doesn't like you, it doesn't matter whether it's a good product or it will save lives or do anything good for anybody. If they don't like you, they won't show it, or they'll say that it's a lie or that it's false or that their fact checker said one thing or another. The only way that we are going to take control back of this country is to just start and do things that, well, the president never told us we have to wear the mask. And the FDA is siding with the Democrats because they've already approved HCQ. They've approved it more than 70 years ago. And because it doesn't fit the narrative of the Democrats, they are suppressing the information. And they're saying that all the information is false. But we're going to see. This is really bad because now the Democrats, if you're wearing a red MAGA hat, even 7-year-old kids, this was all over the social media about these two girls. They released their names and their states and said exactly what they did. Older 21-year-old people harassing 7-year-old kids, taking their hats and their posters away because it said Trump. And then they tried to trip the kid and hurt the kid. When the mother approached them, they tried to fight with the mother. And when the father stepped in to break up the fight, the woman that was on the Democrat side started smacking the man. Now, women want to speak their bullshit about equality and start smacking on men because they don't like the president. They pretty much probably deserve what they got coming. Women can go to the gym all they want. They're not a match for men. And I'm pretty sure that the police, if a woman smacked a man and man just stood there and took it, she should go to jail. Anyway, these two women, one of them was charged with a third-degree felony or third-degree misdemeanor, I don't know what it was, for attacking the kid and stealing his property. But the media is suppressing any information that shows that the things that these people are doing is against the Constitution, is against the law. They want you to believe that these Democrat bullshit people out there creating hate, discontent, are doing peaceful things, and it's just not true. And they set a double standard at the convention. They're requiring photo ID to get into the Democratic convention, but they want no ID for the voters. and they think that Trump is wrong to provide, to put a border up at Mexico and force the people to provide an ID that they have a right to be in the United States legally. So, Trump has passed many, many executive orders in the last 3 years. And I have a hunch that many of these executive orders are going to come into play as soon as the election is over. And they're going to stop pushing when they realize that Trump is going to be the president, they're going to stop with the COVID-19. And then, well, I hope many, many people get to go to jail. And I think Obama and Biden says that he's not, his mental faculties are all there, and if he's going to have to take a test and then he ends up in court, he cannot use the defense that he's not mentally capable. You can't say that you're able to run for president and then when you're caught with your hands in a cookie jar stealing, say that you don't remember doing it and that you're mentally incompetent when there's witnesses that saw to the contrary. But many, many things still have to come. As I travel around the country, the country is opening back up, and the mask is just what it is. It's just a excuse for the Democrats. As long as people are wearing the mask, the Democrats, they know who they can push around. Me personally, I'm not wearing no mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. And the businesses that are open, if they want to continue to do business with the people that know what's going on, they're not going to be enforcing anything. And eventually, if they continue to wear the mask and enforce it, their business is going to go away again anyway. I mean, who wants to go into a restaurant where everybody around you is not wearing a mask, but the guy that's wearing a mask is the guy that's serving your food? Because, what? Is he a criminal? Is he a Democrat? What is he? He's not informed. And he's fearful for his job or going to jail because the Democrats have put scare tactics into all these businesses. But the Democrats, this I don't understand, are not in control. Just because they're mayors and governors, there's not enough people to enforce their stupid lockdowns. And soon people are going to be able to see this. They're going to see that the police, they're not interested in any... About 174 more miles to go to our destination. They say it has, the hurricane has been downgraded to a tropical storm, and they're expecting it to hit the Gulf closer to Louisiana as a Category 2, although it could blow out altogether between now and then. I suspect we might see a little rain, and that would probably be about it where we're going. I do like driving in Louisiana. It is so pretty here. They have lots of different kinds of trees. They have cedar and eucalyptus. They have pine. They have great sausage. Good hunting.